Good morning, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. What's up, man? How's your weekend?
Ah, uh, is it Monday? I didn't even realize.
Yep. The weekends go quick for sure. We're actually going to get some of the heat that everyone else has been enjoying. We've been in the 70s and 80s. We're going to be over 90 degrees this coming week, so it's going to be hot, especially for the Northwest.
Gotcha. Hey, I am not even like I said, I'm like barely awake. Trying to figure out whether it's like, oh, hey, this is the start of a new week here. Let's go. I mean, it's like I, the World Cup is over. It's
Yes.
done now, and I gotta say, I mean, congratulations to Spain.
Yep.
Did Argentina really deserve to be there? I don't know.
I mean, I look at it this way. They gave up one goal down a man for 30 minutes.
They gave up two goals and they made sure not to allow that second one for no reason whatsoever.
Well,
Really,
yeah,
it could have been three goals, but
could have been.
again, it should have been three goals, in fact, and they called that one offsides too. And really, that
I
was
mean,
even closer and so much further out. Listen,
they could have realistically had a bunch of goals. Their goaltender was doing work.
that their goaltender was the one MVP. He
Yes.
was really the MVP of that game. Uh, that being said, uh, you talk about how they 30 minutes with a man down, and of course that was the extra time. By the way, let's go that. So I mean, they didn't play just a full game, and the fact that
Yeah.
there was 120 minutes where Argentina didn't have a shot.
There really was. Yeah. No, they and that's why I thought this game could have been, when you look at that end of it, this game should have been out of hand, right? Outside of their goalkeeper just being lights out.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that the free kick, that goaltender was absolutely stunning there. The direct hit to the face, just about where he got his arms up, and that ball went flying 40 yards back. That was also amazing. You know what I mean? There was lots of things that. I mean, the goaltender definitely did uh, keep Argentina in the game.
Yes.
That being said, it should have been 3-0. I mean, I
Uh,
felt like it was 1-0, then it was 2-0, and then it was 1-0 because I don't know, something happened, and then it
yeah.
was and then listen, when you are all the way past half the midfield,
Yeah.
that should be the line.
Sure.
I mean, there can't be offsides. I feel like that's the offsides equals all the way up to midfield. I wish that they would make that rule.
Okay.
It's because ultimately they were pressing because obviously they were running out of time.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, let's try to score a goal here. And so they're all the way past midfield. So your last defender is literally 5 yards past the midfield line.
Mm-hmm.
They kick the ball on a heavy, and the guy who's standing real close, I mean, really what happened was the defender took a step up, he kicked, and that's what made the guy like literally it was one of those like foot, like he had just his
Yeah.
foot offsides.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you go by the half line, hey, listen, if you are halfway over, there is no more offsides. It's the same way with like free kicks, like from the six, like goalie kicks.
Yeah.
There is no offsides on those. So
Yeah.
you could be all the way down by the goalie if you wanted to. And they can't call offsides on that. And I feel like that they should kind of do that. If every defender is past the center line, Like you should be able to have somebody there, and you know, almost like it's a like he's cherry picking,
Yeah.
kind of like all the greatest did in hockey.
No, I mean, I wouldn't mind that because there's a lot of goals that get called back from offside calls. Um, so yeah,
I mean, and that was a unique situation. Obviously,
of
it's
course.
like that's like okay, we are doing this. That in essence, you see it on sometimes some corner kicks at the end
Mm,
of games where they're trying desperately to score that one goal to tie it up,
yeah.
and you have every defender in the box. And ultimately, it's like, okay, so you got all 11 guys. There's not even a goaltender.
Mhm.
Because if the goaltender it comes up for that, your furthest guy back doesn't count as a defender. The goaltender actually becomes a defender. So
Oh,
it's
sure.
it's very weird how that works. It's like they account for one guy back all the time, and it doesn't matter if that's not a goaltender.
I mean, that makes sense.
So it was a good game. Like I said, it was
Yeah.
uh, the goalie from Argentina made it a great game.
Yes.
That's who did that.
Yeah.
Other
No,
than that, it's
it was funny though because I'm a huge soccer fan, right? And so we get through regulation and it's 0-0. I'm like, man, this is worst case scenario for me. Like, show me something. Come on, guys. And then, I mean, even that goal came later in extra time. I mean, it was
yeah. The first 15 minutes they scored one, but then no goal. Nope, nope.
yep.
Mm. They were trying to do anything they could to get it to kicks. I
That's what it
feel like
seemed like.
they tried to give Argentina every opportunity. That's what they were doing. They were giving Argentina every opportunity.
Yeah.
And Spain, like finally you just couldn't do it. Spain was like really over the top.
It
And
was so
uh,
much faster. Like when you
yes.
watch them moving around, they were so much faster than Argentina.
So, and the only thing that really what didn't, that could happen that the goalie stopped, and it was what a save that was when the 19-year-old, I guess he's 19 years old. He wears number 19 for he was the kid in the tub when Messi was washing a baby. You know what I mean? Like so it's funny
Gotcha.
how that all worked out like that. And he kicks that ball and it's going in. Like it's going in and it gets, you know, punched away by the goaltender. I mean, that was an amazing save. But realistically, the game should have ended there because most goaltenders aren't making that save.
True.
But no shots on goal for Messi at all.
They had a hard time getting the ball to that end of the field to even take a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
they were on their own side most of the time. Like it between their goal and midfield, that's where the whole game was played.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough for them. But I felt like, I'll be honest, I felt like that it was, I mean, Argentina had come back in every game that they had played in the last three games, to win these games, and I didn't think that it was, you know, I thought that Spain was going to win.
Yeah,
And they had let up one goal the entire time. You knew
exactly.
the defense was better. Every time that Messi even got, like, they weren't watching Messi, which
Yeah,
is what happens sometimes. It's like you get enamored by the name on the back of the jersey and you watch what he can do. And I tell you, I watched the one sequence against England that Argentina that Messi had where he literally got through four guys and came up with the ball and wound up getting fouled at the end of that. Like it really was. It's like wow. Like that the talent that he has is otherworldly when it comes to that. Yeah, like you understand why they call him the Michael Jordan of soccer. You know,
Yeah.
he is, you know, arguably the best player to play the game ever.
Mhm.
I mean, it's hard to put Pele in the same world as him because like even soccer then was a different game.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going between eras, it's tough, right? Because you don't know how either one of them would have worked in the other era. Or maybe it
Right.
wouldn't have mattered, right? Because they would have grown up in that era also. But but yeah, anytime you're going player for, the greatest ever, it's that's always a tough conversation.
Right. So, but you know, hey, listen, if you are in the United States, we still get to see Messi. You know, you can
True.
still pay lots of money to watch Miami play your team, and everybody on your team watch him score goals because that's what happens. Because I know when he played here against the Union, it was very frustrating to watch because they were all watching him play.
That's one thing the Sounders don't really do. The Sounders are also out there to win. And some of that I think is just because we have a pretty good history of doing exactly that, right? So they seem to get coached up to not worry about who they're playing, just get out there and play.
Well, yeah, and plus the Sounders, I mean, have had good teams. Like they've won
That's
the
what I mean.
MLS Cup a couple of times. They are soccer. That's I mean, the Union have a couple of plates.
Yeah.
You know, they have that's all they have in their, trophy case. And you get measured as a franchise in soccer on the trophies in your case.
Oh, of course. I mean, I think that's true in any sport, really.
Really, but it's like there's certain listen, if you are in the Premier League
Yeah.
or Series A in Italy or like the main leagues, you are you've done something. And it doesn't matter how many trophies you have in your case there. Like you are in the top tier
Well, yeah,
and
because they
that's
have the relegation, right? So if you're managing to stay in there, it means you're still a good team.
right. And it's likely I mean some of these teams have been around forever. We're talking about countries now when it comes to FIFA.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, I get it. I mean, this is going to be, I get it. These are the, you know, best countries in the world. Argentina won it last time. Spain was a favorite throughout all of this.
Yep.
The third place game, though, if you were watching soccer on Saturday, uh, I mean, not for nothing. I had somebody tell me a story that there was a guy that came into the bar and left before I got to the bar on
Okay.
Saturday. And he made a bet and said, "Listen, I think that you're going to see the third place game go on the over." He said over 4.5 goals, and said that it was at that point it was like it was like a plus 280 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I wish that whatever he was betting on, that he had the escalator that he could say, okay, I'm going to put $50 on plus 5.5 and $60 or $50 on plus 6.5. Well,
Mm.
10 goals were scored. The game was 6-4. That was a baseball game.
Yeah.
It was, I will tell you, I looked at the score with 42 minutes in. Now this
Mhm.
is the first. It's still, and it was England 1, France nothing.
Oh, it all
By
came in the second
halftime, it
half.
was 4-0.
Oh, funny. Yeah. See, I didn't watch that one. So, um, I did score check it, and I laughed when I saw the score. I was like, and why I laughed is because I score checked it while I was watching the game yesterday, and I was like, oh, I watched the wrong game.
Right. And I will tell you, there's only one game that I know of in soccer that was more goals than 6-4. And I will tell you that the Union lost the championship in that game. I didn't watch the game, but because I was at a World Series game at the same time where we also lost the World Series that day.
Hmm.
And LAFC beat Philadelphia 6-5 in that game.
I got you.
So we lost the championship, which really sucks that day because we lost 2 championships that day. I happened to be at one of them, and yeah, I would have been at both of those losses had I, had it not rained on one October night and they had all the World Series games when they were supposed to. But can't argue that. It would have been a lot of losing that year.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad enough that I was at the World Series loss and the Super Bowl loss. If I was at the MLS championship loss too, that would have really cemented some things.
Right.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. That was a tough one. I mean, like I said, I didn't get to see it because I was at the World Series game, and there's no chance of me watching my phone and paying attention to what's going on around me with a bunch of Houston fans. So you got to choose one or the other. But that was a 6-5 game. So 6-4 is like I said, it was funny because it was 4-0 at halftime, and they're like somebody at I went to a birthday party really quick for a buddy of mine turned 50, and guys like they need to put soccer game on. I'm like, that game's over. It was 4-0 at halftime. He's like, it's 4-3. I'm like,
oh,
what? He goes, yeah, Mbappe scored 3 goals. He scored a hat trick. I'm like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, now you got to put it
10
on.
minutes ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now you got to put it on, and he puts it on, and I turned to the guy. He goes, "Oh yeah, there's a soccer game." I said, "Yeah, France just hit a 3-run home run."
Yep.
So, hey, listen, it's fun. I'm glad this only happens once every 4 years. We get a year off, and then next year we get the women. In 3 years we get the club.
Exactly.
And then back again 4 years we get to watch. If USA can make a bigger dent.
Sure.
And it also makes me wonder if they're going to stick with the 48 teams.
I think they liked that format.
Yeah, but it depends on where they're having it next and if they have the capacity to be able to hold those games like that. That was the other part of these things, that these countries just don't have all of the stadiums to be able to do that.
Yeah,
and I will tell you,
we definitely had the infrastructure for it.
And not only that, because I'm sure FIFA loved the money.
Oh, of course.
That's the big deal. FIFA is like, yeah, we just made some money that's we've never made before.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine it's coming back to the US in the not too distant future.
Well, they gave it to Saudi Arabia in 32.
I mean, they're going to be making plenty of money there too.
Well, so Saudi Arabia they're going to be making stadiums.
No, that's what I mean. They're going to be fine because they have all the money.
They do have all the money.
So, yeah, they'll be just fine.
But it was amazing to see some of the prices. It was the largest, the most expensive sporting event ever.
Sure. I could see that.
The cheapest ticket getting into the building went for like $9,300.
Okay.
I just was watching an Instagram video where the CEO of the Chiefs
Mhm.
paid $200,000 to get in.
Yeah.
Models, like people were spending 30,000, 50,000. They said the highest ticket getting in there was 1.6 million.
Exactly.
You
Yeah, I was
know,
going to say that's the number I saw. I was just like, oh, nope.
yeah, I'm like, listen, it's recently, for right before the All-Star game, I went to an event where they showed a $1 million baseball cap. A $1 million baseball cap. It would cost you $1 million to buy it. I didn't have that $1 million, so I don't own that
What?
cap.
All the money we pay you on this show?
I guess that check is still stuck in the mail somewhere. But yeah, so like I'm like, okay, and I understand it's a one of one baseball cap.
Sure.
That was, I don't know what fake diamonds are called. There's a specific name for that.
Cubic zirconia.
No, yeah, it's not the
It's not the
cubic
cubics?
zirconia. It's there's something else. There's a fancier name than that now.
Okay.
And this was encrusted with that, which, okay, I get it. It better be encrusted with a lot of them because, but I just, the whole diamond thing is no longer a big deal for me as far as I'm concerned. It's like, yeah, I would rather do silver or gold or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, if it's covered in diamonds, then
well, it had the All-Star plate covered in diamonds, and then it had a couple of other things covered in diamonds, and then it was like diamond encrusted in the back where I guess it said All-Star or whatever. It was a one of one hat. The reason why they didn't make many of these hats is because somebody spent a lot of time putting all those diamonds in that plate and then affixing that plate to the hat. But that all being said, at least you have a hat.
yeah.
Here, you spend $1.6 million. You got to watch Madonna on television.
I was gonna say 3 hours later, you still have nothing.
So Madonna was on television. At least Bieber was there.
Okay.
But well, if you watch the halftime show, which
I didn't.
I did watch the halftime show just because it was on. And there was like, I mean, that's what anybody who was at the bar last night watching the game was there to watch the game. So, yeah, it was Fugazi. There were a lot of people who were frustrated about that.
Yeah, I treated it like any halftime show. I got up and used the bathroom and got some food and played with my dog.
It was the first time that they have actually ever had a halftime show at a World Cup game.
Yeah. No, but like I wouldn't know because as soon as halftime happens, I get up.
Right. I'm surprised you didn't go to a watch party for that. I can imagine that there would still have been a number of good watch parties in Seattle.
So there were, I should say. But it was a gorgeous day out. And so I was watching this game so that I could talk about it today. And then as soon as that thing was going off, I was taking my dog to the lake. So I was just like, so as soon as it went to extra time, I'm like, really? 0-0 extra time? Cool.
Just what I needed to see.
I could
More
be in the water
soccer.
Right now. And I thought for sure it was going to go to kicks. And I was just like, man, come on.
Was Mr. Beast there yesterday? I mean, I can only imagine that he was. And him and like 5 of his cronies that he spent probably $1 million on those tickets because, hey, listen, God bless him, he's got $1 billion.
Yeah, yeah, he's doing fine.
So yeah, it's a synthetic diamond, George. There's an actual name for it that's not cubic zirconia. Uh,
Well,
they actually
I wonder
announced it.
I wonder if they didn't do an actual diamond. I wonder if they did like a moissanite or something. Because
Maybe
that
the
because
moissanite
moissanite
is
is silicon based instead of carbon. So
that's what they called it, a
a
moissanite.
moissanite. Yeah, yeah. So they have a little bit deeper color profile, similar hardness, but they're based out of a different. They were originally formed from meteorites crashing into the Earth. So,
Got you.
kind of cool.
And there you have it. You put them onto a plate to put them on a hat, and the next thing you know, you can sell that hat for $1 million.
Yep. Those stones are still expensive.
Yes, that is exactly correct. Yeah, I can imagine. You know, I can't watch that stuff. I'll be honest, I don't understand the appeal of IM Speed.
Well, at least I'm not the only one. So
Yeah, I mean it's tough to understand, and not for nothing. And God bless him. Listen, I am not a jealous person when it comes to that. This guy has made $1 billion industry out of the fact that he was fast.
Oh,
and
I'm not mad at him. I mean, if you can make it work, awesome. I just can't watch it. And I mean, but at the same time, I can't watch Stephen A. So there's just, or Skip. Can't watch Skip either. Like those guys, there's just something about them that is annoying to me. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a Skip Bayless guy. I can watch Cowherd.
Yeah, I can do Cowherd.
Yeah. And as far as different, like I don't get upset about listening to Collingsworth. There are many more people that are annoying to me beyond Collingsworth. Collingsworth, at least, I don't care about who he likes, but when he talks about the game, I enjoy. I learn from that, which makes sense to that I appreciate. But
I think the only time like Collinsworth is fine unless the Chiefs are playing. And then
when he starts slobbering over somebody, that's a different.
Mute Romo all the time. That's fair. That for me, it's generally the Aikman Buck tandem, and that's because they just have a level of hate for the Seahawks that is hilarious that I've never figured out. But it's been there forever. So whether they play good or bad or win the Super Bowl, doesn't matter. They that tandem has some hate for the Hawks that I've always thought was hilarious, but also just like, really, guys, like. And this was after their first Super Bowl win, right? They're just like, well, could have went a different way. It's like, dude, it was they beat them by 40 points.
Everybody thinks that Buck hates their team.
I think Buck doesn't actually like football. Like if you hear him talk about baseball, amazing.
Right. But I mean, that's where his father made his bones, really.
Exactly.
So
yeah, no, you listen to him talk about baseball, amazing. Listening to him talk about football, you're like, come on, man. Like that's like listening to Max Kellerman talk about boxing, right? Incredibly knowledgeable. Listening to him talk about other stuff.
You know who I used to really enjoy listening to, and then like he fell off the face of the earth, or maybe from what I understand, got beat up and got taken off of the air. I used to like listening to Rome.
Oh, okay.
You know, uh, I'm going to say his name is Mike Rome, but that's not it because I'm thinking Mike Rowe, who is
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
amazing to listen to.
Yes.
If I ever had somebody be the person that like narrate my life, it
Sure.
would be Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe, I would want that man to narrate my life because he is just the tone of his voice is like the perfect tone to hear anything. It was like listen to John Facenda
Yeah.
talk about football back in the day with NFL films. Like it was just that's that type of voice. Yeah.
No, and that makes sense. You know, the life story of Pags, Dirty Jobs by Mike. Mike
Oh
Rowe.
yeah. Exactly. And
uh,
God knows I've had a lot of them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's he could be like, hey, this is when starting out this story, because I've tried to mimic his voice sometimes, where because
sure.
he's got just that deep voice, and I happen to have where I'm close in
Yeah.
that octave, so I can mimic certain words of his. Um, but that would be the guy. Like I said, that definitely he's. It would be funny or interesting to listen to him call a football game or a baseball game.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear him get into a animated,
An excited moment.
right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting.
But anyways, so yeah. I mean, and I can imagine other sports happened this weekend, but obviously the World Cup being done. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
it was 2 months worth. And you could say that it wasn't 2 months, it was only 39 days. And I understand because I feel like I painted my face. Every country there is, you know, I didn't, by the way.
Yeah.
But
No, it was actually an entertaining for someone that doesn't enjoy soccer. It was actually an entertaining World Cup this time through, and I did like the expanded field a little bit. Um, it let the U.S. win, like a couple of times. But yeah, no, I mean and it let some countries get involved that don't normally, and so like it was kind of a cool way they did it. Obviously, being here in the U.S. was cool. Um, so
you
yeah,
know what I also feel like it helps people with geography.
oh, no question. Yeah,
There are like you could ask normally, like, hey, where is this country? Like
sure.
you could say, like, all right, the Ivory Coast. Where is the Ivory Coast? And you could have a guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's somewhere around here. It's like, I'd be willing to bet that if you showed the map and you asked somebody where the Ivory Coast was, they would probably point to Madagascar.
Okay.
That's where I would think most people would think that it's because it's like, hey, it's the furthest away from me. I wouldn't have any idea. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, I have a feeling that most people couldn't point out Iowa on a map
Well, that's the thing, right? Like
in the
you
United.
think of you think of how many people wouldn't be able to find some of our states. Um, you expect them to not find other random countries.
So, but it's that's what I mean. So this is like that's what I was trying to do with the World Cup. Hey, let's give some people some education. Hey, I learned about like I was doing the exports of all these countries. Like what are their three main exports? And some watching some of the differences, like in Curacao, their biggest export is gold because people go there to buy jewelry.
Yeah.
It's really tourism is their export, but like, hey, you get to leave with memories.
Mhm.
Yeah. which I guess is interesting in its same. But that's funny that it's gold that is bought by people going in there to just buy jewelry.
And it is a cool place to go. So if you haven't been,
Yeah, I have not been. So
yeah, no, it's a cool spot. It's a cool spot. I guess stepping into some baseball. What's happening, Rob? You know, the All-Star break just happened. What do I always say happens to the Mariners for the next 3 weeks? They generally are not awesome. Now they did win a couple of games in a row, so that is unique a little bit. But do I think they salvaged the second half? I believe I have a hashtag that says maybe not, but good old from hope to nope. But I mean, we have done our traditional model roller coaster ride, and we'll see over the next couple of weeks if they can actually rattle off some wins, or do they just fall apart like they generally do after the All-Star break. I think you're right. I think they don't really make any moves, and if that's the case, then no, they're not real contenders of any kind.
I would not be surprised. They play each other at the end of August, so I thought it was the end of July. It's a shame because it's at the end of August is too late. There was a piece of me that thought that uh, there is a trade to be made between the Phillies and Seattle and pitching and hitting. You know that
Oh, okay.
that I think that we could trade you a right fielder. Like I
Okay.
know that he's hurt right now, and you know that he's got some power to him over there, but it's just like he has not really been the replacement for Castellanos that we wanted. So I think that it would be something that he could do better against. I feel like that the pitching in the AL is not as good as the pitching in the National League.
Okay.
Just my opinion on that. And that, he might be able to offer some type of spark with the bats. Although he's only batting like 222, 220. He's not like doing anything great there. And we could get a relief pitcher. So it's like almost like a 1-for-1 trade because we still need bullpen.
Yeah. I mean, if that's where he's batting, I don't know that they'd make that move because that doesn't really elevate our bats.
Well, that's why I say I just think he might need a better spot or a different spot. But he's also not been, he's been a little hurt, so it's hard to be able to say, he's going to come back much better. I don't know about that.
Well, you're not selling this trade at all.
No, I'm not. No, well, because I know better. You know what I mean? It's just it's frustrating because it's like, all right, what are we going to do? How are we going to get better? I don't trust our bullpen. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers, as I look at their team, and I actually see them tonight. The Dodgers are in town tonight. And as I see them, and they're not 100% healthy yet. Will Smith isn't back yet. What's his face is just getting his legs under him a little bit. Mookie Betts. So he's starting to get better. Mm-hmm. Shohei is a little hurt, so he's not playing at his optimum. So there are a lot of different things that I'm seeing that's like, okay, when they get healthy. But that's the one thing that they were able to do, besides the fact that, hey, let's get an all-star at every position. Let's bolster our bullpen because that was the one weakness we had in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
In a big, big way, that was their weakness. That was the reason why they got sent to 7 games in the World Series. That was the reason why they really had 7 games. Yeah, against who did they wind up playing against in the NLCS? I feel like that.
Oh,
Yeah, see what I mean? It's like
wow.
they lost to the Phillies, and I felt like that was really their chance, and I don't remember even who they played.
Yeah, I don't remember who they played now.
And it wasn't the Padres, and I guess was it the Cubs?
I honestly don't remember at all.
Wow.
Just poof, gone. Like I don't. Wow.
Yeah, because it wasn't the Mets either. So, um, Braves. Yeah, it's just like a loss of
Yeah.
that. Uh,
Yeah.
because everybody thought that the Dodgers were going to do it, and they wound up doing it. But like I said, it took them a much longer path. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you know had a Ryan Kirkrig through to first rather than throwing home and throwing it away, could we have won that game? Possibly. Could we
Maybe.
have come back and won Game 5? Possibly. But you know, we didn't have that opportunity. And it's like every time there was the opportunity to put them away, nobody could put them away. And you're going to have I think, the same opportunities this year, except the fact that they are better in their bullpen. Last year, I felt like it was a race to the bullpen. If you could outlast their starting pitching, you can beat the Dodgers. This year, I don't feel as confident.
No,
And
I think their team's better this year.
yeah, in
Which,
general.
yeah, no, exactly.
But again, they still haven't been hit with any type of adversity.
True.
And I am interested to see how that comes. And so I hope that only shows up in the playoffs because they're going to get the number 1 seed. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
no question.
So,
Yeah.
and again, if by chance, because I think that the Phillies could wind up playing them in a 5-game series and putting the Phillies away for the first 2 games, I think helps.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, the Phillies love playing in LA, and they play very well against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. So taking one of the first 2, or even God forbid, both of them, and having to have the Dodgers come back to Philadelphia to try to win both games, or one of the 2 at least, at the very least, is I think that would be our best chance. But that means that we're also playing a wild card, which I'm okay with too, because that
Sure.
means we don't stop playing baseball.
Yeah, there's that. There's that.
But I just have the problem. The problem I have with the Phillies is that they have a hard time hitting good pitching, and the Dodgers have good pitching this year,
They have really good pitching.
and they're doing
And
a
you can
6-man
bet on
rotation.
whether or not the Phillies can take down the Dodgers right here on this show using the QR code on the screen, up to 125% of your first 3 deposits. And of course, 10% bet guarantee when the Dodgers more than likely get that BTA.
We'll see. I mean, because obviously, I'll be honest with you. I think that these are still the 2 best teams in the National League.
Sure.
I know that there are people up in Milwaukee who are going to feel very strongly about that, and they have their one pitcher who can pitch 108 miles an hour, and
Yep.
that's
I
you
mean,
know
it's tough to argue that the Dodgers don't have the deepest roster. I mean, they just
they
there's so
absolutely
much.
do have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much talent. I mean, the guys that aren't playing would start just about everywhere else.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And if yeah, for a minute, and I'm going to change the subject just for a hair. Uh, for a minute, we thought that they were coming to some conclusions and saying, hey, there may not be a stoppage. That turned around very quickly. within the last week or so. With stuff that came back out. So there's probably going to be a stoppage, and the Dodgers' way of doing business has created too much of a rift.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's coming up more than anything else.
Especially because they keep doing it. Is I think it'd be one thing if they were like, okay, fair enough. But then they were like, yeah, no, we're just going to keep adding talent until you make us stop.
Well, and because they know that they would have to grandfather them all. They're not going to be able to do that. And ultimately, again, saying the other thing is that the truth of the matter is that they can invest all of that money, but eventually all that money is going to come in, and they're still going to have to pay for players. And you're going to have to see, like I said, I just don't see how the Dodgers don't declare a bankruptcy of some sort.
I mean, I think they don't, as long as they're being smart with the money that they're making while this is happening, because they made enough this last year to cover Ohtani's whole contract. So they wouldn't have to.
Did they? Did they though?
Did. Yeah. At least that's how it was reported. So that being said, that's one year, right? This is a 10-year contract. So as long as they're being smart with it, then I think they can weather the storm, because all they're doing is winning, and winning brings in money.
Hey, all you have to do is invest in the stock market, and all the stock market does is just keep going up. How do you not just do that alone? I mean, anybody with money is making more money.
Exactly.
The rest of us are still trying to figure out how we can have Bet US pay us more than zero.
Pretty much. you hope for bankruptcy.
I wouldn't hope for bankruptcy, because you would see a mess. Like, there would be a tremendous mess that comes with that. Because all of those guys would wind up getting beat for the money. That's what it would become. And that creates a very bad precedent.
Yeah. And Brad, like, you cannot like the Dodgers, but you can't say they're the worst team and the worst bullpen. Like, they've assembled an all-star team. Like, they are the Avengers right now. Like, that's what they've got.
They are actually the evil empire. That's what it is. It used to be the Yankees.
Yep.
It's now the Dodgers. And listen, there's a spot for that in baseball. There is definitely, Darth Vader is a character in baseball like that. There is that. So, and you could almost say that that's Shohei Ohtani. I can't really say that it's him. And like, it's even hard to say, like, Freeman. Like, Freeman is like, I would love to hate Freeman, except for the fact that he's too nice of a guy.
That's the thing, right? Like, is you have this evil empire, and then there's very likable guys on the team. You're just like, come on, at least be a jerk so I can hate you properly.
Yeah, exactly. So there's been, I don't know. I hope that the Phillies do make some moves to bolster some spots. I mean, I've heard some rumors about getting Chapman from the Red Sox. I've heard some rumors about getting Suzuki from the Cubs. And I did mention that Randy Arozarena, he was one of the best dressed at the All-Star game. I did mention that.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
He was the only other one that he was one of the only other ones with a white suit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he gave me the nod. I did get the nod from him. Like, hey, we obviously got read the memo. But so it's going to be interesting, and the trade deadline's got to be coming up soon. Isn't it coming up like August 1st?
Yeah, I know it's relatively soon. Let's see. I don't remember the date offhand.
or is it August 31st?
Third. It's the third.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that's what's frustrating when it comes to the M's is we don't even have any rumors. Like they just look like they're not going to do anything. And that is pretty normal. Like what we saw out of them last year was rare. Normally, trade deadline comes and goes, and we've done nothing. And based on the way that it sounds this year, they're back on that train. So,
yeah, but if you remember correctly, you didn't hear a word about anything, and then all of a sudden you're like, hold on.
For sure.
They did something. So the fact that you're not hearing anything and the fact that there was such a result from last year's trades.
True.
You know, like you guys wound up going to the ALCS. You know what I mean? So it's like that is a big deal. That's like, hey, we went from nothing to hey, now we are a contender. So I have to assume that that ownership still feels they are contenders. And that even though you're not hearing things, I wouldn't necessarily knock that out because of how well things happened last year.
Yeah, I mean, I never rule it out until the deadline passes, right? Like I am a big fan of until the clock expires, anything can happen. There's also a lot of history of them not doing a lot. So,
right.
You know,
I just said you have a lot to go off of before it's, you know, to say, oh, well, last year was the outlier. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But
like, I hope it's not. I hope it's the direction that they're trying to steer the ship here. But I got to see it more than once. So, you know, because I mean, the M's are a good team, right? Like, it's not like a floundering franchise that's trying to steal a win and they just had a lucky run. I mean, when you look at their past 22 years, the years they didn't go, they missed by like 1 to 5 games, right? So, I mean, they've been in the conversation most of the time. They just never finish because they have these stretches right at the beginning of the year and then right after the All-Star break where they just don't play good baseball. And so, I mean, if they could just turn those two elements around, you're in the playoffs a lot. But, you know, it's something that this franchise has a trend of doing, and it hasn't mattered who the manager has been. It hasn't mattered who the players have been. And that's why we always look at the ownership, because it's the only thing that's still there to have this same roller coaster all the time. Now, to your point, we didn't hear anything about these trades really coming about until they happened last year. And so who knows, maybe they do have some things they're trying to do, but if they do, they're being real quiet about it.
Well, and I will tell you that I feel like that they almost have to, because you cannot, you've gained a little bit of momentum against the Seahawks last year by going to the ALCS.
Sure.
And then the Seahawks one upped you.
Yep.
By, you know, winning the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Now, does that mean, hey, you got to win the World Series?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, that's. But there's a piece that thinks about that. You know what I mean? There really is something that thinks about, like, okay, you know, we have to do something to keep momentum. You know, that if we don't make the playoffs this year, after we went to the ALCS last year and don't make the playoffs, in a year that the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, you lose everything to the Seahawks.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, hardware trumps everything, right? Scott, you know, I actually kind of agree with you. Everybody loves Julio, and when he's playing well, he's awesome. No question. he tends to start seasons slow, and that's where the frustration for Julio is he never seems to get going until later. So you have a lot of poor hitting from him to start years out. And that just seems to be who he is as a player. Before you're like, maybe he's young and whatever. And now he's been in the league long enough that you're like, yeah, you know what? I think that's just who he is. And I mean, at least he does it in that direction where he starts off slow and then kind of comes on, as opposed to coming out awesome and then falling apart. Now, he would get a lot of all-star nods if he did it that direction, because all-stars only care about the first half of the season, because I always think mid-season all-star things are kind of dumb. But give me the all-stars after a whole season so we can see if you were an all-star all season. So there's that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the All-Star game happen in August. But there again, I feel like that the later you get, that's when you start to run into like, oh, somebody gets hurt in the All-Star game and they get lost for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no bueno.
Yeah.
But who am I? You know what I mean? I just, I'm just a fan.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't get to make those calls at all.
That is true. That is true. And this is true with the Seahawks win. Honestly, it was true even with the Seahawks loss, because at least they got into the big show, right? I mean, so now you have the Seahawks having been in 4 Super Bowls, winning 2. The Mariners have yet to make a Super Bowl, or I mean, they definitely haven't done that, but a World Series. So I mean, it's tough, at least catch a pennant, right? Like, like if you can't win
your
the whole
first
thing,
one, get the first one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you can't win the whole thing, at least get in the dance. So that's the hard part there.
Well, and I don't see any one team being so great this year. That this is one of those times that if you're in the dance, you could go to the World Series. Any one of those teams from the AL can do it.
Oh, no question. Yeah.
I think that there's really only 2 teams or 3 teams that could do it from the NL. It's just my opinion. But from the AL, anybody who's in the playoffs can make it, including the White Sox.
Yeah, how weird is that to say?
That would be one of the oddest things that, that would just be ridiculous. Like we were making fun of them to, hey, now they're in the World Series.
Yeah. No, that's it would be something. It would be something. Worst to first, right?
In a real sense.
Yep.
That being said,
that does get us to the top of the show. If you happen to be here in the Seattle area, hopefully I'll see you at the Storm game tonight. Otherwise, if you're watching here right now, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. And of course, if you're listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. Otherwise, we'll catch you all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.